Long season for both. Two best teams in Challenger by a large margin, but both of them might be going back to join their brethren in Challenger next season.
Yeah, definitely want to avoid that at all costs, so we'll see what these guys can piece together to try to find success here in our final best of three. The first day of the promotion tournament. Never 8 starting things off over on the blue side. Played blue in both of their games versus Jin Air and did not find success.
A lot of bot lane focus in the bans in both the semis and finals of Challengers. We'll see if that continues today. We've already seen a couple of drops today with 3 to 4 AD carry bans, specifically on our first series. So let's see how we go in terms of ban focus. We still haven't seen Kennen open in a single game, and I feel like increasingly this will become the meta, given that he beats tanks so handedly and also beats the one champion that was anointed to be the tank slayer, or at least the tank pusher, I guess, in Rumble. Both of them banned here, but both of them expected to be cornerstones of the meta come MSI.
Well, for now, Kennen and the Rumble, both off the board. Nothing too shocking here on either side. You can see Soul started to push around the Rumble in that last game with the Camille, but still wasn't grouping with the team. Wasn't playing alongside them, and when he did, it was just a bit too late. So we'll see if they want to get their hands on that Camille yet again, or if they will forego it in the bans.
Yeah, the Jace is the one, again, that I'm most focused on, and pretty consistently in the matches between these two teams, and also saw some bans in previous series today. Gragas banned here, so respecting Helper.
We saw from him in both games that they played. So know that that's going to be a bit of his comfort, so they take that off the board.
It's also like a soft ban towards something like a Kog'Maw, because one of the best tanks at peeling for the Kog'Maw without necessarily banning Lulu or something so straightforward. And the Camille is banned in this scenario, so top lane has already taken 4 bans. Shen, for example, still available, hasn't received his latest round of nerfs on patch 7.6, to remind you. If you're joining late, we are still on patch 7.6 with Galio disabled, so the same patch has been locked since the start of the gauntlet. It's been a long time, a very settled patch that we don't often see in competitive play.
Well, the Jace is available. Saw this banned away by CJ in the previous series, so they do go ahead and take that out yet again. So, not going to have that one on the board. The Fizz, something that they were worried about going up against the likes of Kongdu Monster, is on the table. So if it's something practiced by Ever8, we could see that perhaps come through.
It wouldn't be something like a Gragas answer for it either, which is one of the stronger tanks when it comes to dealing with that Fizz, so we might see some pretty high priority Fizz play. Wasn't really convinced by Soul specifically on the Rumble. Was definitely second best when it came to Rumble play. Played Rumble, Shen, and Camille so far today. Spent the last game just a few minutes ago, we ended the last game, 15 minutes ago, running around the map on Camille without necessarily getting a whole lot done. Whole champion pool for the day is banned away though. And Kog'Maw was very high priority from both challenger teams in their games today, so Lulu taken away. Be interesting to see if Kog'Maw is either taken in the first round or banned by one of these teams.
I mean, that was the bottom lane there for CJ the first time out, but it's actually going to be the Shen. But with those two pieced together, you'd expect the Kog'Maw to be the 80 carry.
And the reason is, you look at that and you're like, well, we need damage from somewhere. Graves' jungle is denied away, so high damage junglers are kind of off the board. It kind of has to be mid lane and 80 carry that's applying a lot of damage. So Twitch, Jinx, and that Kog'Maw are all heavily expected with this early round of drafting from CJ. See how Ever8 wants to answer that particular side of things. Zyra is the tier list strongest support. When you see someone drafting Lulu over Zyra, your mind definitely wanders over to the Kog'Maw. So, what do Ever8 want to do? Because this could just be Kog'Maw taking at Candy's pick and then some 80 carry bans going their way. So, interacting with the 80 carry choice of CJ is definitely something they need.
Something like they're going to go for the Ashe.
Draft some engage and let CJ do what CJ wants to do seems to be their decision.
Interesting. I mean, would have lockdown, at least with the Ashe Arrow and the Grasping Roots. But trying to finish off that Kog'Maw through the likes of his Stand United And the shields from the Lulu would be very impressive, but they're actually going to go ahead and hold off on this. So maybe CJ has something else up their sleeve. Maybe they want to bait out this Kog'Maw ban, perhaps, from Ever8.
Just think of Veritas' champion pool. Largely has played Jinx, Ashe, and the Ezreal. So the more utility, the more safe laners. His other pick is the Kalista, famously. So there is still a chance this will be a Kalista draft from CJ. That will be what's suggested when you so obviously set up for a high damage AD carry, but it still could be something like Twitch, for example, as that is what was preferred already by Kongdu Monster earlier today, and Bang back at the LCK final.
So far going to be the Varus, and then the Talon actually banned away here by CJ.
And with Zyra selected, does mean that Talon is in higher demand on the side of Ever8. It would only be Zyra for magic damage. You'd have to imagine in that scenario, unless we saw Nautilus, for example, as a top laner. Mid lane champion pool is being targeted pretty heavily, as Scepted really had Candy's number in the Challenger final. My prep for this event really got me hyped on specifically Scepted and Malrang and setting them ahead. And Malrang has his most impressive mechanical champion so far in Graves that he has done some amazing animation cancels, specifically on his stream on, and has also played it pretty extensively in competitive play. 3 mid lane bans. So Syndra is the most obvious blind pickable mid laner, and Orianna as well. Certainly looks like a potential Orianna draft on the side of CJ, both for protection and the Wombo engage from the Rengar. And if you don't see AD carry at this pick, you start getting very suspicious if you're Ever8.
Yeah. Do they want to go ahead and give that ADC over to Veritas and then last pick for the mid lane, or do they want to take away one of these priority ones? And that is going to be the answer here as Syndra comes through for Candy.
So power mid laner in taking the Syndra. The Nautilus is taken in this spot. Does, again, free up some physical damage laners, but only really Zed exists. If we see Nautilus Zed on the side of Ever8, they'd have a comp that had some pick, but be a true 4-1 comp. Very strong core of 4, and then Zed doing his thing in a side lane. Good matchup into Syndra, so very possible that we see Scepter jump onto something like the Zed in this spot. It's not to be the Zed. Fizz is available as well. Another lane counter to the Syndra, as of course Faker showed, but a lot more risky. Or maybe he'll go the school of thought of Kuzan and go for the Vladimir. This would be just a pure teamfight comp from Ever8.
Yeah, won this in game number 2 against Ever8, so might just be playing that side of the coin, and he will. So Vladimir locked in. Not going to be seeing that Zed. Not going to be seeing any Orianna. So now a plethora of AP damage here available for Ever8 between the Zyra, the Vladimir, and the Nautilus.
So all eyes onto Veritas. Needed a hard carry. It will be the Twitch trying to outrange the Vladimir extensively. We've seen the Ashe versus Twitch matchup twice already in the LCK final. Bang jumping on the Twitch, and Deft was on Ashe duty the whole time. But Vladimir certainly can get in the back line and tussle. Seen him do it against Ashe's Twitch. Pretty much the same story when it comes to the Vladimir. Vladimir one lane very heavily against Ever8 from the side of Jinair Greenwings on the Syndra. That time it was Candy, Scepted. Now Scepted jumps on the other side of the matchup. Let's see how he can do against Candy Syndra.
All right, well, everything now on the line for both of these teams. A victory means that they have one more chance to play their way into the LCK. Otherwise, they fall down to Challenger. This has got to be one of the more stressful games you'd expect of these guys' career, especially Ever8 finding their way into their first LCK promotion tournament after becoming a team in 2015.
I mean, so many teams have put together a stacked roster for Challenger and then misstepped. You think back to as recently as Goldcoin United.
Yeah.
CJ's favorite son, Madlife, not being able to be promoted to the NALCS. CJ spent a lot of money on their Challenger team, getting talent that could easily be slotted into LCK teams for this spring season, trying to get back into LCK. And that investment, bringing back Veritas last minute, you remember, from Unicorns of Love, will mean very little if they're not to win this match here today.
Yes, it will. All right, well, let's go ahead and get right to it. See who's going to come out on top of this one. Ella going to be looking to have a bit of a turnaround performance after those first 2 games versus Jinair. Let's see if he can do it. Let's see if Ever8 can come out swinging, or if CJ will take the lead in this final best of 3 of the night.
That is a screechy CJ Chen.
Yeah, she is going hard in the paint. Cheering for the team.
If it's decibels, she's doing well.
Gonna start things off pretty basic here. No crazy invasions like we've seen throughout the previous games. And also an Ocean Drake, so we're gonna be about as passive as possible.
Who does that suit is always the question when you expect it to be a pretty long laning phase. Both junglers, level 6 junglers. Malrang has done some aggressive things on both the Graves and the Rengar, so maybe he will defy expectation, but you're right. The drafts do suggest pretty long games, and finally we can use the word submarine correctly, and that's cool as we have Shen and Twitch on the same side. Turbo Twitch is a very real possibility with the Lulu as well.
Yeah. Speed him up. All of the defense that you could possibly want. Helper is going to go in for a very delayed invade here. He's found out the leap coming back through. He'll get through the shields, but not going to be able to force out something like the flash. Still nice punishing start there.
So the shoe is on the other foot when it comes to team comps. It was Everate in our first series of the day. We're pretty doggedly running Kog'Maw Lulu and then a bit of early game in the mid lane, and now CJ Entus is doing that, which is a bit more flexible. Can go for a one-item power spike build in terms of the Blade the Ruin King, but actually Blade the Ruin King Twitch hasn't necessarily been the auto-include. There's been plenty of Infinity Edge Twitch as well. And also go for the roaming ganks that, for example, Deft was very famous on back in 2014. Twitch meta is a happy meta for me. Probably my favorite AD carry champion to play.
I would like to see the Vayne return. You know,
Vayne and solo queue though, what a terror.
That's true. It can be pretty awful, but just seeing it at the professional level, you know, juking out things with a tumble, moving around, weaving through fights. It's some of the most impressive mechanical ADC play that I can think of.
Did you notice that Veritas is rocking it old school in his skin choice?
I did not notice.
Whistler Valley Twitch.
Ah.
Back from the Winter Games 2009, I believe.
I was expecting it to be medieval.
Medieval.
A bit of a run back there.
Yeah, both of them are those old legacy skins. The vault opens up once in a while. I want to watch Malrang, who was a bit stunted, you have to say, with the team comps that Everate was drafting. So Everate did answer our question of, can we just see them go a bit more normal? It's about the most normal draft you could hope for on the side of Everate, with Ash as the AD carry choice.
So we'll get some vision down, just trying to keep track of Malrang where he can. Takes the blast cone for a ride, so he'll be all right. And it's just going to be slow and steady as we start this one off. Even the bottom lane not having as many skirmishes as you might expect. I say that as we actually flip down here. Duel, getting hit by that glitter lance, will go low. Still no heal coming out. Starting off with the triple pots with the long sword, so can go ahead and sustain himself back up to some degree. But another exchange like that, you can see a first blood coming through.
Duel was actually pretty slow on popping the pot. Still has another one in the inventory, so can still heal up to full, but clearly was a mistrade with Veritas, who admittedly is out of mana.
Yeah, won't have to worry about too much more. Wing getting found here by Malrang, but neither jungler looking for a fight. We'll just go ahead and go their separate ways.
Small point, but I do think it's interesting and pretty satisfying that Twitch is one of the few champions I feel like is really gated by his mana costs. Like, he can have a very strong laning phase with WE that can zone, that can also push, but it costs so much of his mana bar that he has to make meaningful decisions, not like Ezreal with Tyr, for example. So, for now, at least Veritas has to play a bit more passively in lane, and Duel is not forced back and even gets to hold on to a single potion.
Decent harass coming out here from Candy in the mid lane, but still not enough to keep push Septed away from these minions. Still going to be going very even with that, as far as that is concerned.
The top lane champion pool being decimated to get this tank matchup. All the tank abusers were banned away in one fell swoop, and there's no Smeb, so we don't get Fiora.
I had to say something about, you know, how the meta was so open and we're not getting those wet noodle fight tanks in the top lane.
But it requires both
lo
teams.
And behold.
But it requires both teams opting in, right? Both teams have to be like, no, tanks is the way forward for this many bans to be sent at the top lane.
Well, I mean, when you have both teams with their backs against the wall, going with the tanks is probably the safest option, so I'm not too terribly surprised.
I don't feel like Ever8 will have to ban Rumble from being a first pick on the side of CJ, but on the other side, CJ do have to respect Helper's Rumble. Passive farming phase. Makes you consider scaling. In terms of top lane, you take Shen over Nautilus just because of flexibility of lane assignment. Graves vs Rengar is an interesting one. My first instinct is Graves. Vladimir over Syndra certainly, but then Twitch over Ashe certainly. So when it comes to late game scaling, I feel like the team fights can be pretty close. CJ's damage is pretty Twitch-centric, which is often the case when it comes to a Twitch draft. You draft utility to set up the Twitch's aggression. But that is definitely a pick that there's not really many ways to interact with the depth charge, for example, coming through from the Nautilus. So no guarantees about late game team fights. As Grasping Roots hit. Not enough to do too much to Wing.
Yeah, good spotted, good ward timing there. Toss down, so gonna keep themselves safe. Just trying for that visitation, won't find much, so likely just gonna go ahead, back off, get a purchase in, and just keep farming away until he hits that level 6 mark.
A bilge water for everyone.
Hooray.
I mean, the only downside.
What a good time we live in.
Well, the only downsides of the bilge water meta is that it goes longsword 3 potions, so basically every early trade is shrugged off into a lot of lifesteal from the bilge water. So there is a lot of staying in lane tools, so you can't as easily harass out and look for something like first brick when this is the meta. Malrang hasn't impressed us with the sick early ganks, but it's been good defensive warding from CJ, who were actually prey to the early Malrang ganks from Rengar in Game 4 of the final. So they're not going to be wowed by that again.
They're both at level 6 here as Wing pushes forward, throws down the ward.
Vladimir's in base, so that means that Malrang has to walk away.
Yeah, but Winged's not going to be able to get that big Raptor. Is smited away, smote away by Malrang.
I'm a Smited fan. I'm about Smote.
I have no strong opinion on either matter, but I guess smited does sound a little bit better. But smote sounds like it might be actually grammatically correct.
I don't think there is such a word. I think we're inventing it as we go. Smited. I can remember many casters saying smited. I can't think of many who said smote.
I know that it has been said, but
you got pretty far down that Google search over there, Achilles.
Well, smited isn't a word.
Of course it's not a word. It's a League of Legends word. To smite is definitely a term.
Yeah, smote is actually a word.
Nope. Just like the guy who said it's GIF and not GIF. Not agreeing with you. It's a League of Legends term, Achilles.
All right, I'm just saying. It is a word. It goes along with like smitten.
Smitten's a good word.
Yeah.
I'm smitten with Twitch. That's what I am. I'll take the sponsorship too, thanks Twitch.
I'm sure you can get that if you applied.
Well, there's definitely a lot of people like, Bang was playing Twitch because of their Twitch sponsorship. And I was like, okay.
He also happens to like the pick.
Yes.
Quite a bit.
I always like when Bang is being positive about things in League of Legends, because usually it's like, oh, I don't know, it's all so
I
boring.
hate Ezreal.
I only win all the time. I know he's EO in that version. But
Yeah. Some of our viewers might not even know who that is.
Eeyore?
Yeah.
I'm sad. Winnie the Pooh was my favorite as a
Then
kid.
again, Disney does have some of those weird 3D animated Winnie the Pooh TV
When they
shows.
actually released a 2D Winnie the Pooh movie about 4 or 5 years ago that was actually super good. It was obviously intended for kids, but I watched it and it had music from Zooey Deschanel from memory. And it was like 68 minutes. Like, it wasn't a long movie, but it was well made.
I wouldn't expect them to make a very long feature-length Winnie the Pooh film.
I'm just biased. I do love Winnie the Pooh. Speaking of things I love, Twitch opening up.
Yeah, he's going in. That's going to be the Ashe Arrow coming through, and Veritas going low. Still gets the heal out. No flash burn yet from Duel. So he tried to turn around a little bit here. Here gets traded back a little bit of damage, and Winged comes down, but he's sitting on top of a ward, so he's just going to go ahead and have to recall out of here. Whereas Malrang maybe looking for an entry point.
He's there for a counter gank largely. Which isn't going to come with the Ashe Hour being down. Apart from the max range grasping roots, they don't have a lot of engage options.
Yeah.
Could flash ult as well, I guess, if you're Ella.
Well, the push forward here from Pure. Might just keep them safe. There you go. Yep. He knows he's here.
Good game sense from Ella. So from Pure, because they don't have any advanced vision anywhere on the map.
Accepted. Shove that a lane here. Candy trying to bait that pool as best as he can so he can actually line up that unleashed power. Chunks away at him, but overall won't be able to get too much done.
Frustrating lane for the side of the Syndra. Not too much you can do. I'm just walking up to Raptor, queuing and getting back to lanes for a little bit extra sustain and top up.
Be all right, but Thrill Hunt comes down. Wing,
nice angle.
Submarine coming in. Jewel already going low. Up with the grappling roots does connect, and actually the interruption on that Stand United means the Shen has not arrived. There's no taunt. The flash forward Pure able to get the last hit. Wild Growth in onto himself, trying to keep himself alive, but the collateral damage from the sidelines will take him out. Good interruption there by Helper. To get rid of the Shen would have almost certainly been a non-traded back kill there for Ever8 if that had happened. Or had not have happened.
1 for 1 means the investment from CJ is a lot more grave, and yes, interrupted without even having to flash or ult. He did not complete the Stand United.
Well, perhaps we would have seen the unleashed power come there from Candy off the backside of the stun, but looks like he just wants the Vladimir to exit the lane. No, happy with the harass, but yeah, good.
It was very decisive. Yeah. It was a decisive call from CJ. They already knew heal was down, as we see the interrupt coming through from Soul. Far too far up, didn't even draw a flash out of the Nautilus. Flash for an auto attack, but taking focus fire means he dies even through the Wild Growth with the from downtown collateral damage on Malrang's side. So in the end, because they used less resources and specifically Scepted was able to stay mid lane, slight advantage over to Ever8, but I do appreciate that CJ are trying to make proactive plays happen.
It's a step in the right direction for sure. But unfortunately, trade back the kill, and they don't gain too much for it. It's about 200 gold in the lead at the moment.
King on both 80 carries. No boots for Veritas, though. He was that crown jewel in the regular season, mentioned it in the previous match, but 9.67 KDA, by far the highest in Challenger. Would be up there with anyone in the big leagues around the world, but also a symptom of the fact that the rest of the Challenger pool wasn't on the level of the two teams we're seeing right now.
And even then, comes into question as to whether or not they're on the same level as LCK, but now Candy getting jumped on, goes low, throws out the unleashed power, just doesn't have enough to finish off the Graves. He goes down. As Scepted picks up the kill, 2-1 to Ever8.
And all in onto Syndra after the early laning phase is certainly possible. This time Wing not around. Did pop his ultimate, but was too late. Wasn't going to be able to dive in onto 2, so just uses it as a gap closer for his red buff. They put down the advanced ward. They'd love first brick in the mid lane, but just trying to stop them when he has limited wave clear himself.
They have a decent bit of damage. The wraparounds coming in, Veritas and Pure. More shots would have a turret going down. Bulla will not connect.
Respecting the fact that they could no longer see Twitch in bottom lane.
This just opens up for a bit of alone time here for Duel and Ella as they start knocking down this turret in bottom lane.
Ella will be exceedingly happy that he's no longer getting just completely owned in laning phase.
He was getting bopped.
He missed the first match. He did 3,000 damage champions over the course of 2 games.
Well, I mean, that's if you're rounding up.
Yeah.
It's 2,700, which means that he was doing, I believe I wrote this down.
What was his DPM?
It was about 39.1.
39.1 DPM, which is
damage per minute, which is like an auto attack every minute.
The 80 carries average somewhere around 500 to 600
yes.
for context. And supports, especially when you're Lulu, who has a lot of auto attack harass, usually do pretty good numbers as well.
You can hit the glitter lance, you can drop the shield.
Look, you're not
on
Zyra,
somebody.
but you do a lot of harass nonetheless.
Sure.
It just lets you know that they were drafting Cogmore lanes and then just so defensive on them as...
Asher are not going to find much, but they do lock down Pure. Stand United coming in, keeping the Lulu alive, at least for the moment. He gets popped up. It looks like yet again interrupted on the Shen, so won't make it down to the bottom lane, and that's going to be a double kill picked up from Malrang. Roam down from Candy. Not going to find anything. Actually finds Scepted in the river. Tosses out that unleashed power. Won't get much done. Both down to about half HP. Wing coming around from the sidelines. And Scepted getting met with the rest of his team as they keep pushing forward. Flash in into the line. Not going to get the proc. Malrang gets stunned up, but Candy still trying to kite his way out to safety. Ella pushing forward. Almost lands the grasping roots. Don't quite connect, but he still gets slowed up and taken down. The collateral damage coming in with a delayed triple kill. Malrang finding the kill. First brick about to go over to Ever8 in the bottom lane, as well as the mid, as 2 towers are going to fall.
First time Everett have access to the graves that the CJE know only too well, and they basically get everything in one fell swoop. Delayed triple kill and 2 turrets off the back of a woefully inaccurate arrow. But once again, you have to say, why is Shen ulting literally on the same screen as Nautilus? Not flashing, just point and click with the depth charge. 2 kills come in instantly. The only argument to ever make that play is that you don't want to commit to going into the bot lane, but that was never going to be the sort of scenario where you can freely just have the shield and stay top lane. Very questionable stuff from Soul. If it was intentional, it was non-committal, I guess you could say. Regardless, choose to believe it was a bit of an oversight on his part, and that means that his bot lane gets further and further behind.
We had a couple times tonight where Soul has done some fairly questionable things. So this is just going to be tacked onto the list. Septed going to go ahead, throws down that ultimate. Hemo playing it onto Veritas, who goes invisible. Chunks him down to about half HP just on the 1 proc. Now Septed all on his lonesome, on Thrill the Hunt coming through. His wing jumps in, makes it into the pool, trying to get back in underneath the turret, but this should be a dead Vladimir, you'd have to expect, but no, actually. Wing goes low, the transfusion's doing some work. He will finally get popped in the end. Takes all 3 members to finish him off.
No idea what Septed was doing, going in aggressively with no one on even his side of the map. Maybe buying time. If he knew his own demise, then he certainly did distract for a little while.
He heard we were talking about Soul and he wanted some attention, so he decided to do something equally confusing.
That's the sort of play where if your team is getting first brick on the top side, you're like, okay, that was probably fine, but there was already 2 turrets down, so this ended up being a bit of a rush of blood to his head and over-aggression from the side of Septed. Scenario where it's not too bad, though. His team is pretty considerably ahead.
Yeah, they get the 3rd outer turret, so they at least get an objective. They do trade the bottom for it. Ultimately, Ever8's still going to be in control of this first game thus far. 3.3 thousand in the lead, 5-2 as far as the kills are concerned. Ocean Drake not going to get touched yet, but seems like it'll be an inevitability.
It's always certainly a potential.
Again, just have to roll the dice on it, hope that you get something else afterward that isn't another Ocean or a Cloud Drake.
Not too bad on the side of Ashe, you'd say, just because of the volley harass and the Essence Reaver build no longer being a thing, but when you have to really scramble for features that make the Ocean Drake strong in a comp, that lets you know that an 18-minute Ocean Drake is just not going to be very relevant.
Yeah. Just having Duel and Ella shift over to this mid lane. Maintain control here. All wrong. Oh. Just find Pure. Thrill the Hunt comes through. He's going to take that blast cone back out and over the wall, gets himself to safety.
Trying to rush over.
He's going to have to try to get out of here.
Well, they really
United coming through, the jumping in, looking for him. Bull still available. And again, Stand United going to get interrupted, so there's no taunt. Now they're going to try to turn this one back around. Arrives to get the root down. Ash Arrow coming through, locks up Veritas, but meanwhile, Candy does get the pop in onto the Zyra, taking him down with the unleashed powers. So a 1 for 0. A lot invested from the side of CJ, but they get the kill.
Well, you won't be surprised to know that Soul didn't complete his ultimate on Shen.
Oh yeah, I already called. Yep, saw that one.
At this point, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He just wants to put the shield up because there's no way he would make the same mistake 3 times.
Well, maybe.
I'd need to see a replay to confirm it, but
I don't know. We've seen some weird stuff, so I don't know if I'd be terribly shocked. But at the same time, it is trending in that direction.
Still won the trade, so that time, definitely don't feel so bad.
Soul for Duel, finds the lockdown. Can't get here in time, doesn't have the ultimate. Flash over the wall. We'll take the Ashe out to safety, but nice little exchange there. Taunt for Flash.
Yeah, turrets going down is a big advantage to the side of CJ, because then you can make the submarine plays we're looking forward to with the Twitch. The more open the map is, the more likely Twitch can open up from a favorable angle and punish positioning on the side of Ever8 winners. So all the lead is there with the conventional comp. You're never quite sure which way the Twitch will go, and the late game, certainly we've already seen some monstrous Twitch damage from the side of Soul on Kongru Monster in our last game.
Yep.
Malrang is really, really strong. It's a sort of Graves play we were seeing from Peanut in the LCK final. Item build does dwarf his opponent due to the extra gold he's picked up.
Ocean Drake goes down. It's going to be an Infernal Drake. There you go. The investment pays off. Well, as long as they pick up the Infernal Drake, that is. But at least they know that there's something better waiting on the other side.
Number 8 will start to play the map. They can have Ghost Flash Vladimir in a side lane, and as we've talked about many times today already, and over the course of the season, CJ have to be a bit more on point with the Syndra, who would rather be in the mid lane. Can't afford to just have her wave clearing at her inner turret, so you really need to get a pretty robust control ward line to allow Syndra to make her way between top and mid and look for picks. Otherwise, you just end up with wave clear Syndra, which is a sad time. Doesn't have cleanse, remember, went Ghost Flash, so no QSS either, so has to be so shallow in the mid lane to respect the Ash Arrow.
Well, at least Candy was able to pick up a Morellonomicon and didn't have to rush the Zonias like we saw from Pawn.
You end in weird spots like this where Twitch is walking up to a Vladimir, and that could easily turn around quickly.
Yeah. Candy, speaking of turning things around, pushing forward, looking for the turret, gonna go low. Stand United comes out, tosses out a Q, won't find Duel. But Winged has got him locked down and should just come up with his kill, but actually the heal comes out. A couple more hits actually would finish off the Rengar. Duel makes it out with his life. Surprisingly slow. Flash forward into the dredge line. Helper assassinating Winged on his exit. Now looking for Soul. Should have plenty of CC here from the team to lock him down, but the Wild Growth does buy them sometimes. Septon flashing over the wall, dropping the Hemo Plague, looking for Veritas. He flashes over the wall. The pop barely not going to be enough. As they turn back in, the Grasping Roots yet again accurate coming through from Ella. They lock him down, they take him out. 2 kills picked up, almost 4 for the side of Ever8. They're going to be looking at Baron.
Felt like we had the eulogy written for Duel, but he didn't die. Kept hitting the Blade of the Ruin King 15% lifesteal. Did the heavy work, and they turn on to Baron. Only Candy and Pure have any semblance of a health bar. No way that Rengar can be here. Veritas stuck around. He's going to have to open up and hope to get a steal. Baron's low.
Coming through. Unleash Power goes through onto Septon, but he makes it into the Zonies, and that's going to be Baron picked up here by Ever8. Now looking for more kills. Proto Belt forward into the face of Veritas, takes him down. Candy trying to exit, but flash over the wall from Balrog takes him out for the double kill. And Ever8 have blown this game wide open.
Yeah, Malrang popping off. Really good aggressive play from Septon, flashing over and almost killing the backline earlier. Means that the Baron is academic for them, and it all started in really curious fashion. Ella came from out of vision, popped them up, but the first instinct from Duel was respect. He jumps back, he respects the fact that it could be backup, but you think this is going to be Wing taking down Duel, but remember, he lost the 1v1 matchup to the enemy Graves, doesn't have the items, didn't have Black Cleaver as this clip starts. Very nice stuff from Helper. High risk, but high reward in getting a single pick, and because it means that Soul is suddenly in the middle of nobody, in middle of nowhere. Oh, this is a hard one thing to say. No man's land when it comes to being able to get out. Septon just goes full Rambo mode in the backline. It means,
close.
Yeah, Pure and Veritas to 1v2'd in that regard. They take down Soul, they turn on to Baron, they take it cleanly. Win-win-win for Ever8 winners.
Yeah, absolutely. Now a massive gold lead opened up for these guys. As I guess we're just going to get the full replay, which means that there's nothing going on in the live view. There we go. We'll come back in. So yeah, 10-3 to get you caught up. It's definitely on the way of Ever8 in these last couple minutes of this game.
And all you people that ban Graves in solo queue now get to see the Graves you fear the most coming through from Mara. He is now tanky, a frontliner, and also a massive damage dealer. So when you hit 7-0-1, you do everything as Graves, and there's really not much CJ Entus can do to answer that.
Yep. I mean, if you turn the nameplates off, this could be, you know, SK Telecom versus Janair, or BBQ with Peanut on the Graves, or Blank on the Graves. Could very much just be swapped over like that. Ball
he got
wrong.
it.
Yep. Yeah, takes it
Was
out.
there any doubt?
Not really. You know, it's the collateral damage.
You guys, again, missed the first game. Story from Malrang is this is a guy you need to keep tabs on. He will be someone that will be a top jungler in Korea at some point. In terms of challenger talent, only debuted in February. The first ever player born in 2000 or later to be playing on the OGN stage. And he was a star in the regular season. He was a star in the grand finals. He's already played in what is a big match. 17 and just 2 months is Malrang. his mechanics on both Lee Sin and Graves, but in general, are super polished, and it's cool to see him popping off already, 3 games into his tenure on this great stage.
Yeah. I mean, he's making a case for himself. You have to think, worst case scenario. All that thought actually is when he gets jumped on. Sandy United coming through, trying to keep him alive. So they force out quite a bit there.
Didn't get interrupted.
But, yeah, didn't get interrupted this time. Congratulations, Soul. Achievement unlocked. But I was going to say, even if Everett wasn't able to make it in, this is going to be him making quite a case for himself to get picked up by another team. But now Helper getting jumped on, taking the dredge line in underneath the turret, but really just buying time for the rest of his team to go ahead and start this push down to the bottom side of the map where they want to open up onto this inhib turret. And here we go. This is the next level wet noodle fight when it's actually 4v1 and Helper is still staying alive, pops the shield, and buys just that much more time. That will be, as you can see, the inhib going down right as we enter into a pause.
This is the sort of part where if this was actually a scrim, it'd be like, all right, we're done, next game.
Hello, the Nautilus didn't die?
No, but literally, if this is a scrim and they take down Inhibitor and think they're going to lose, they would just surrender at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they just don't want this one on their tournament history,
That
Oh,
could happen,
that's a client error.
Yeah, seems like we have an issue with the game itself. No peripherals this time around. So, we'll have to try to close this out, get them reconnected and back into the game so we can finish this one off.
Silence around the Sangam East Stadium. We hope to get through this particular issue. Hopefully it's not in any way a massive bug. It's not, thankfully.
Hooray! All right, already got it taken care of. So inhib down now as Everett continue the push, and just 26 minutes into this game about. They're in a very good spot. Plus they have an Infernal Drake spawning in about 50 seconds.
Well, Help has had enough of this rubbish. Gonna buy a Guardian Angel. Doesn't want to die anytime soon. His perfect KDA has gone away. Marang decides he needs more damage now as he wants to kill the Shen, I guess, with this Last Whisper.
Plus the Sterix Gauge just to really keep himself in the fight.
Pretty ineffective Last Whisper if you consider that he has Black Cleaver and there's only a Warden's Mail and some Ninja Tabis on the side of CJ.
Oh, now there's a Randuin's.
Oh. I guess Mortal Reminder would take away some of the HP from the Lulu ultimate and the healing from Winged. So Mortal Reminder, I guess, when it's complete, it's not bad. But when you're this far ahead, sometimes it's weird itemization-wise. You never want to buy like an Infinity Edge and then find out that you're not doing enough damage.
I think Everett's going to find out that they're in a pretty good spot as far as the damage is concerned.
It's like one of those what-if games, because remember, they pigeonhole themselves so hard on the Kog'Maw Lulu duo lanes and ended up just seeding early game far too hard to Jin Air in our first series of the day. So feels like kind of bit of what if when we see them play, relatively standard and play so well as Submarine time.
Yeah, Submarine's going on a hunt here, looking for Balrog. Taunt into the flash. As they try to lock him down, the Sterix Gauge is popped. He gets absolutely annihilated over the wall by Candy. Now Everett, they're going to have to try to exit. Winged charging forward, thrill of the hunt, keeping them in vision as the rest of CJ tries to collapse in from below. Dredge line comes out, locks down Pure. Going to try to finish them off. Candy goes down, Emo play coming through. Can they get the pop? He flashes away, keeps himself alive, but Septon is able to get rid of Pure. In the meantime, a double kill, a triple comes through as he finishes off his Candy and Veritas. Can he make it the Quadra? Not quite going to happen. Helper comes up with the kill of his own as Septon is taken down. But a very explosive fight for Everett, turning it completely on its head.
A true 4v5, and yet it still goes only one way. It's the way of Everett. Helper teleports in to keep the super minion alive. They're going to look to try at least take a Nexus Star before dead. And then we got game one in the bag.
There we go. They knocked down the first one. Wing just desperately trying to defend. Still 15 seconds out from Candy, 10 from Veritas, but it looks like they might be able to finish this off in the meantime. The turret going down. Be one hell of a final defense, but doesn't seem like it's going to be possible. Redemption desperately tossed out by Pure as the Nexus will crumble, and Everett pick up game one. Less than 30 minutes on the clock. Bit of a slow start, but they explode forward and they come up with a victory.